I know a lot of you can relate to these early childhood memories of just running through tires on your big wheel, wearing those plastic tires down to the point where they had holes in them, or jumping your bike off of a wood jump that you've made. That exhilarating feeling of being a rebel, of being free. The Raptor brings back those feelings as an adult.
Welcome back to the channel, Performance on Wheels. We have a big, huge toy here today. We have had a request for some more performance cars, and that is exactly what we have, the Ford Raptor.
Guys, in order to understand the Raptor, we have to take a trip down memory lane. I think it's important to go back and understand where the Raptor came from, the history of it. Guys, we're gonna take a peek at what makes the Raptor unique and where it came from. Come along with us as we look at it.
Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and be sure to press that notification bell to get ready for more awesome videos here on Performance on Wheels. Around 2006, the Ford Lightning Generation 2 was starting to get a little bit out of date, and Ford was ready for a new halo truck for the company. They were starting to brainstorm ideas of a new Lightning, just to make another fast pickup, but when they were brainstorming these ideas, they realized to make a fast truck, you have to take things away, such as doors, bed size, practicality in a truck, basically. So they came up with this idea of making an off-road truck.
At the time, Jamal Hamidi, who was one of the chief engineers for SVT, Ford's Special Vehicle Team, which is now just Ford Performance, he was one of the brainchilds, a big reason for the inception of the Raptor. Guys, this guy was an engineer for the Baja 1000 on the race side of things. He made race Baja trucks. Like, this guy knew what he was doing. So he went to the design team. They came up with this idea. They're gonna make an off-road truck, right? The first drawings looked more like a safari truck than a Baja rig.
After this idea, Ford was ready. They were set on a Baja truck. This is going to happen. Ford was ready. They're set in stone, and the 3 years of R&D began.
Guys, this is where the fun starts, right? So the SVT team, along with all the engineers, they mapped out a 62-mile course in the Arizona desert. They laser mapped out every pebble, every rock, every jump, every divot. And they measured every time something would break, every force that was on the suspension. Jamal even commented they thought that they were the first people to start measuring the forces and loads on suspension for a vehicle jumping, like a true engineer would. They were measuring for the truck to do the job they were after. And instead of breaking something and trying to increase safety, they were trying to make this truck a true Baja truck that is street legal.
So here are a few key features that make this Raptor a true Baja truck. Right off the bat, all this inner seals and such, it's just all truly sealed up to reduce drag when you're going fast on that off-road track. Another thing, we have a trail camera up here that'll just help you see the road or the trail that's going on in front of you, possibly if your windshield is covered in mud. Over here off to the side, a lot of people are using this as steps on forms, but it's not actually a step, and here's why. It's not truly connected along this entire side. As you can see, it will flex if I move it. It doesn't mimic a true off-road Baja truck. There isn't an actual true purpose that we found for it, but it definitely looks sweet. And it is actually also an awesome spot for off-road lights in the aftermarket industry. The first generation Raptor, the Baja truck, was a massive success. Now we have the second generation Raptor. We're going to go over what that R&D of the first generation Raptor brought to you in upgrades on the second gen Raptor.
this is just some small little pickup or even a standard F-150 driving down the road, guys. This is 6.4 inches wider, 3.25 inches wider approximately on each side. So that means you're hogging the lanes as you drive down the road. You are taking up parking spots. This is a truck that's cruising down the road with authority. It is a statement vehicle. You know what it is when you look at it. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's look at the shocks down here, guys. The shock tower is specific to the Raptor, guys. It's a two-piece welded shock tower allowing greater shock travel in the Raptor, guys. 13 inches of front suspension travel out of these Fox shocks. Now, these Fox shocks, they look cool as can be, but there is a lot of technology in there. For 2019, guys, we have the live active shocks. We have magnetic ride control. There's all sorts of chambers and oil flowing through those shocks to keep those shocks nice and cool and keep them moving at 13 inches. That magnetic ride control is going to further help the Raptor as you zip down the road. Guys, this is not a harsh ride. It's actually a very smooth ride. With how much cushion those shocks have, this thing floats down the road. It sucks in every bump, every pothole, every curb you hit. It's going to mitigate the body roll event when you're going around turns to keep this truck planted and give you security as you are driving around turns.
It has those wide fenders as a statement. Now check out these running boards down here. But not only are these running boards, they are used for many things. Mud flaps. Heck, these things are used for everything. So all these holes are placed along this cast aluminum piece of running board to help with snow buildup, sand buildup, rock buildup, all of that. It allows, where these holes are placed, it allows it to not come up and hit and chip this paint on this massive rear fender. Boom, boom. 3-inch true dual exhaust. First time Ford has ever done a true dual exhaust that is 3 inches in diameter.
So another look at the rear live valve Fox shocks, guys. 13.9 inches of suspension travel back here, right? Now check out these bead locks on the KO2 BF Goodwrench tires, right? These were introduced and put on the Raptor, and they are killer tires. These bead locks on the wheels now, you can bring that PSI down to around 15 and not have to worry about that rim or that tire coming off of the rim, guys. Okay, so when you're on sand, when you're in mud, when you're crawling over rocks, you increase your footprint on the tires, making this even more of a beast. Guys, there's so much more technology inside the computers that we can't see and point to. For example, the ABS system. They had to re-engineer and rethink and reprogram the way the ABS system works. They didn't want the anti-lock brake system to work when you're zipping through the gravel or the desert. They actually enhanced it so that if you're going into a turn in the in gravel or sand, the front tires will act like a plow, you know, just like a true Baja truck. Guys, they were all about customer experience. SVT, now Ford Performance, they were about making a real life adult toy. When we come back to customer experience, we have to mention INVER Grove Lincoln Ford. Guys, they are the ones that are working with us. Let us use their truck today. Look in the description below for a link to their website. Their customer experience, their communication, they have been so awesome to work with. They really have a good thing going. 2019 Minnesota Dealer of the Year. They even got nominated on a national level. They didn't win that, but that is still a huge honor, guys. These are awesome people. INVER Grove Lincoln Ford.
Another thing they found out during that 3-year of R&D, of course, the shocks are extremely important in this thing, so check out what they did to protect them. So what was going on when they were testing is that rocks were flying up from the back tire, hitting this back bumper, and actually bouncing back and chipping the rear paint of those shocks, which is one of the reasons that that we have 360-degree shock protection.
One more item in the pursuit of perfection is related to the actual exhaust and rear bumper. Guys, so what they did, remember that first gen had its tailpipe sticking out of the side. So they know that people were hitting that with the departure angle. They chiseled out this rear bumper compared to the standard F-150 and tucked that exhaust up in there. Now, the first thing that's gonna hit is actually your trailer hitch now. So what haven't we talked about yet?
The interior, the engine.
The engine. The interior is an F-150.
It's an F-150.
I mean,
it's got a carbon fiber trim package that it looks nice, but I mean, there's not a lot of it.
Yep. And the alignment stripe on the steering wheel is unique,
As well as the steering wheel itself. I think it's very aggressive.
Yeah.
And those magnesium paddle shifters.
Yep. And what's interesting about those, that in Baja mode or any other mode, you physically have to put the lever into manual mode for those paddle shifters to work. I don't know that I've been in another car.
I have not.
Where that has to be. Usually you just hit the paddle shifter and it
shifts.
The gear shifts regardless if you're in the sport mode or manual mode. But yeah, I specifically have to be in manual mode for the paddle shifters to work. But yeah, talking about those magnesium paddle shifters, guys, they are, even touching them, like they have a nice feel to them. They have a nice sound to them. But yeah, these aren't cheap plastic. They may give that appearance. They are nice, steady paddle shifters. They're really cool.
Yeah.
Steering wheel feels awesome in the hands. But yeah, kind of the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about is the EcoBoost.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about it when it first came out. You just did a few flyby driving clips and listening to it. Somebody just asked us if it had a V10.
There's a UPS driver that stopped and was like, "Hey, is that thing a V10? Sounds like a V10." So if that gives you any inclination as to what the sound is, there's first-hand knowledge right there. It sounds like a V10 apparently.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It does sound good. You can get a few crackles and pops out of the exhaust that you listened to when we revved it up a little bit. It sounds good flying by. Definitely a lot of turbo noises inside and out. I overall like the sound of it.
Why on earth would they get rid of a V8 and put a V6 in a performance truck?
It was all about weight.
Well,
And
all about weight.
All about the instant torque as well.
We have 2 less cylinders, so that engine's further back.
Yeah.
We have better weight distribution. It's all aluminum, so we saved weight.
Well, in the sport modes, Ford has figured out a way to leave the boost in the turbos 24/7 in that Baja mode, so there literally is absolutely zero lag.
Nah, I still think there's minimal lag driving it. It's good, it's very responsive, but I don't think it's perfect in that regard yet. What is cool though is previously that the Raptor V8, the 6.2, guys, that was an awesome engine. That really was. But you had to rev it out. Like you had to keep those revs really high to be in that full torque curve.
Really low torque range.
Yep. In the EcoBoost, the 3.5 EcoBoost with a little over 400 horsepower, 0 to 60 in a full-size truck, guys, in the low 5-second range, low 14-second quarter mile. But that torque is down low and it's there. The potential to increase that power and increase that torque, it's really second to none.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think of this thing?
I like it.
I love it.
It's a big toy truck.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I think there's probably people that buy it to physically use it, but there's probably a lot of people that will be buying this truck just for the whole fashion statement that it presents.
And it presents quite a big one.
It is very unique. It's head turning. But guys, that's we had a lot of fun taking a peek at the Raptor.
Yeah.
If you have any questions about it, things we didn't cover, things you're curious about it, we love to talk cars, any car. We love talking.
Definitely.
Comment below with what you guys are thinking, other vehicles you'd like us to review. What else you got there, young man?
Well, maybe if you guys have your own vehicle that we could come review, please send us an email at performanceonwheels111@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at performance_on_wheels. But otherwise, if you guys like this video, be sure to press that subscribe button and, of course, the like button as well, because it's right next to it. You got to press them both, right?
Yeah. Guys, I have to just mention this quick. In Baja mode, this transmission is so aggressive. The way it holds on to gears.
Oh, yeah.
It's I don't know that I've been in another vehicle that holds on to gears and has the shift points that the Raptor does in Baja mode. It's fun. It really is.
Or GTR didn't even do that.
No, it didn't. No, like
unreal.
the computer, even if you aren't driving aggressively, you're still shifting at like red lines pretty much. Every other car in a Sport Plus mode or a race mode, it seems that if you aren't into that throttle, you're still, the computer will take over and shift, not the Raptor.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys.
Have a nice day. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys.